see. So a couple things I'm going to go through. I remember before I was talking about the different body systems and what was the most important. And I was thinking about, uh, first I said, cardiovascular, right? Like obviously, if that is not functioning properly, the person is going to die, just flat out. There's no blood getting pumped throughout the body doesn't survive. So that to me is priority. So blood, heart, lungs, that whole system um, needs to be working well, and so that's priority, right? And then I would say, to prioritize, I would say after that's number one. Probably number two, I would say is musculoskeletal. I think even though everything is very intimately connected, and obviously, you need everything to function well to have a overall body that functions well. But I would say musculoskeletal is probably the next thing a person should really put emphasis on for a couple reasons. If you think about it, the purpose of a body is movement. Is just to be able to move and do things like to drive this car, put my hand and steer the steering wheel, to sit, to walk, to stand, to jump, to climb, to type on a keyboard, to move your head and look and see things. Like the whole game of a body is just move. It's movement. It's just getting the body to move. And obviously, there's different degrees of movement, different degrees of efficiency and power and strength and things like that. But overall, just to get through your daily activities, your musculoskeletal system, your bones and your muscles, just to help your body move. In my opinion, is probably a pretty important aspect of a body that people tend to neglect and not really, you know, kind of take it for granted. Um, reason why I was thinking of this is very common for me in the clinic to see patients that cannot get up and move their bodies. They have a hard time walking, getting up out of a chair, moving. And I'm not talking about people who have injuries. Obviously, if someone has a broken leg, they're going to have difficulty. I'm just talking about people in general. Um, you know, especially as they age, the ones who don't really take care of themselves. Guys in their, dare I say, 50s, because I'm about to hit 50 this year. People in their 50s, 60s, 70s. That's when you really start to see the movement of the body starts to decline. They have a hard time moving their bodies for whatever reason. They just never took care of the body, and on a musculoskeletal level, there's just it's not very optimum. So they take it for granted, and then the compensation is they just don't use the body and do things that they would be able to do if they would take care of it. So the maintenance that they should be doing, they're not doing, and the fitness level that they should have, they don't have. And the consensus is that, well, that's just because you're getting old. I disagree. I feel like a body can be, kept in very good condition for as long as you want it to. I have I'll give you an example. My grandmother's 106. She turned 106 February 14th, and she moves very well for a person who's 106. Um, and then, I've seen other patients, in a similar situation where their bodies are older and they still function very well. I saw there's a guy who was in his 70s that ran a 200-meter dash in 26 seconds, and I was like, wow, that's impressive. If anyone follows track and field, for a 70-year-old to run a 26-second 200 meters is pretty impressive. Um, so what's the trick? What's that guy doing? He clearly, keeps his body in shape and keeps things moving. Keeps him strong, and the guys I see who do very well, who you know, who are what we consider somewhat old, in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and they're just super able to move their bodies and do whatever they want. Go for a bike ride, go climb a tree. I mean, just do anything. Go have fun with their kids, have fun with their grandkids. Do whatever. Um, they don't neglect their musculoskeletal system, and they keep their bodies relatively fit and strong and active. And I would say that's probably right after uh, cardio, like after heart, lungs, and blood. I would say musculoskeletal is probably the next thing on my list of importance as far as like what people need to do to handle their bodies. All right.